Good evening, and welcome to Wilder Online. I'm Roxanne Battle, your MC and longtime admirer of the work that Wilder does to fight the cycle of generational poverty for families in the East Metro. As someone who grew up in St. Paul, I have a special appreciation for the work that Wilder does, and I'm so excited to be here tonight and to be with you. Even though we can't be together in person, thank you so much for tuning in from the comfort of your home. Tonight, we're going to show you how the work that Wilder does is different because of this pandemic that we find ourselves in. You're going to be able to see childcare drop-off and telehealth checks and be able to tag along on a real meal delivery service to an older adult in St. Paul. You're going to see youth online, and you're going to hear how therapists are providing telehealth services for children. I think bubbles are involved. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Why do we call this ordinary magic? It's a great phrase. I love it. Because we believe that seemingly ordinary events have the ability to create truly magical results. And because tonight we here have the opportunity to create ordinary magic in the lives of the people that Wilder serves. During this very unprecedented and extraordinary time that we all find ourselves in, these simple acts of service and support, these moments of ordinary magic can make all the difference in the world. Tonight, you're going to have a chance to help make that difference. And you can start by bidding on some amazing auction items that we have, thanks to the generous support of our sponsors and local businesses who made those auction items possible. Also, because of our sponsors, your gifts tonight will be matched, which is just incredible. We're fortunate to have all of this support as we work towards providing services for people like Mary and DeAnthony, who you'll meet in just a bit. But right now, I want to kick things off with this very special message from Wilder President and Interim CEO, Brad Hewitt.
Hi, I'm Brad Hewitt, and I've had the pleasure of being Wilder's Interim President and CEO for the last 6 months. My journey with Wilder started as a participant in a program, and then it moved to be a donor too, and then as a volunteer, and now as a staff person for at least a little while. What I've discovered about Wilder is that it is a unique community service organization that combines research, community engagement, and on-the-ground service delivery in a particularly effective way. Wilder serves in areas like housing and child development and aging services and mental health. And these are critical issues to help our community thrive. And in this time of national and local emergency, we've adjusted our services to try to continue those services, and you'll see some videos about how we're doing that. I think you'll be impressed. But I also want to say that if those issues were there for our community before COVID-19, they're going to be even more important issues after. If housing was challenging before, it's going to be even a bigger challenge afterwards. So I'm appealing to you. Right now, we need your help. We need your help in some ways more than ever. And Wilder will be here for good, and together we will help our community thrive. Thank you for supporting us.
We moved out here. We were in St. Paul for 8 years. My family grew. It was just myself and my 2 girls in a 2-bedroom. And so over the 8-year span, we grew into a family of 6 plus 1 dog. We came here into Forest Lake, Washington County, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's a great place. Couldn't ask for more. I first got started with the Family Independence Initiative with another parent that went to Galtier Elementary when I was in St. Paul. I've overcome domestic situations, and it's hard when you're in the midst of it, but it is possible to get out of it. And so I wanted to have that power to motivate other women that it's not over and that you can overcome it. I have learned that I can do just about anything that I put my mind to. I wanted to, own a vehicle because I kept having a struggle where vehicles broke down. I couldn't get my children to medical appointments, and it was hard. Having a bigger home as I got more children. And I look outside as the weather gets nice and I'm like, I did it. I actually did it.
Our role is to facilitate access to the capital so that families can continue to get what they need and design the solution for their own problems. The hope is transcended what I even thought we could do. What we're most excited about is having conversations with systems like county and state government about transforming social services so that not only the people that Wilder serve have an opportunity to participate in this model, but that it becomes a new way that business gets done, that we listen to families, we trust them to know what they need, and to engage with them as partners to solve their own problems.
So if we can help one another in the community and paying it forward, I know that we can make so many changes, not just within the community, society itself, help parents that have children, help our children grow into becoming better people and paying it forward themselves.
My name is DeAnthony Akon. I'm 20 years old. I grew up on the east side of St. Paul. I'm resilient, I'm brilliant, I'm a student of life. I've been here at high school for recording arts for 5 years. Honestly, when I first started, I kind of didn't feel like I fit in at all. I was ditching school a lot, or I would come to school late. I'd come here for only like 2 hours and stuff like that. I didn't have any aspirations and stuff because from 6th grade to like just recently, I was homeless. And being here has changed my life tremendously. My camera is a passport for me. It's helped connect me to so many different people, and through my identity, I want to be an advocate for that. I do see this a lot within Black communities, is that we don't talk about mental health enough. We're not open about it. We see it as a sign of weakness. When I met with Yvette for the first time, I had talked to her about things that I never really talked to anybody about. It was things that weighed on my mind heavily, and I was always thinking about. I think it's one of the most genuine experiences you can possibly experience, just being vulnerable and allowing yourself to be vulnerable so that you can heal and better yourself. I'm starting to see myself as worthy. I'm starting to see that this community has invested in me because they believe in me.
It's important for Wilder to continue to invest in school-based mental health services. One, because we have done it for a really long time, and we've learned a lot from our almost 30 years as a mental health provider in the schools. The other piece is because we are really strong on how we provide services, particularly to communities of color.
I see myself making a multi-visual empire where it's like, if you want movies, you come to us. You want graphic designs, you want album covers, you want music videos, you want all of that, you come to us. I see who I want to be, and I take steps towards that person.
At this time, when we've been called to stay at home, people in our community have been affected in ways we couldn't have imagined mere weeks ago. What remains true is that Wilder continues to provide critical services that are more important than ever. What has changed are the ways in which Wilder creates safety and connection in our community during this global health crisis. These are just some of the moments of ordinary magic at Wilder that spark hope in the resilience of the human spirit. Mondays through Fridays, the Wilder Child Development Center provides high-quality early childhood education in St. Paul. When the pandemic started spreading across the U.S., 90% of parents said they needed childcare so that they could continue to work and support their families. Now, more than ever, staff help create welcome routines and a reassuring environment for children and families. Wilder staff ensure the safety and health of everyone coming into the center, and thanks to increased food donations, staff have expanded a small food shelf of basics for parents. Providing social and emotional support for children helps stabilize the entire family. Never has this been more important for families that we serve. Wilder serves more than 120 families at the center every year and continues to be open and care for children and families at this time. When the health crisis first began, Wilder's supportive housing services team knew that housing and stability would be a top priority for families during a time of unprecedented unemployment and financial crisis. They acted quickly. Home visits by case managers became phone check-ins. Delivery of supplies moved to online ordering and delivery. And site-based program staff modified their time on site and increased cleaning protocols. Employees are now working remotely and continuing to provide housing and case management services to families in Ramsey County and beyond. At a time where family income for so many has been jeopardized, Wilder continues to prioritize processing of rent subsidies and cash investments to help families remain safely housed and supported. Wilder provides supportive housing services for more than 1,100 people every year. The young people of Wilder's Youth Leadership Initiative are tenacious and can teach us all about building community online during COVID-19. As a program rooted in building authentic relationships and developing leadership skills, the shift online was a big change. Youth missed gathering and hugging their friends, and the warmth of adult mentors with genuine interest in their views of the world. However, connecting with each other over computer screens from their own homes hasn't slowed them down. Youth continue to work together on service projects to address community issues they feel passionate about and develop cross-cultural understanding by sharing and learning about others' experiences. In the words of Tanae, Youth Leadership Initiative Program Coordinator, we will continue to foster community and connection online until our youth tell us they need something else. Wilder's Youth Leadership Initiative is part of broader leadership programming that nurtures diverse perspectives and voices from more than 260 people a year. Many people are experiencing heightened feelings of fear, anxiety, and unease at this time. When the COVID-19 pandemic began, Wilder mental health therapists were suddenly unable to meet in person with the children and adults we serve. Through telehealth video appointments and creative activities, therapists are finding ways to stay connected and provide critical support and care. Over the past 2 years, Wilder started offering mental health services by video. So, when phone and video calls became the primary way we connect with each other, the mental health team was ready to act and ramp up telehealth services. Early in the outbreak, the governor's office asked Wilder to help reform access to telehealth services. Wilder stepped up and partnered with other organizations to propose recommendations to ensure children and families receive the care they need quickly and safely. Many of these changes have already taken effect, allowing the flexibility needed to provide mental health services in this unprecedented time.
Wilder staff member Amanda shows us what telehealth therapy for children looks like. To adapt her therapy with kids and families, she arranged her home to reflect what it's like when they meet in person. She wants the children to see a familiar setting and even incorporates coloring, puppets, bubbles, games of I Spy, and Simon Says into their telehealth appointments. Wilder practitioners and therapists serve about 2,000 people every year. We continue to provide mental health services in our community, supporting and affirming the resiliency that people have to adapt during these challenging times. Every year, Wilder Meals on Wheels provides more than 22,000 nutritious meals for older adults and adults with disabilities in the Midway, Frogtown, and the surrounding neighborhoods of St. Paul. When people are advised to stay home, regular meal deliveries are a lifeline of support. During COVID-19, the Wilder team made rapid changes to continue to safely deliver meals to older adults. These days, meals are delivered frozen weekly instead of hot and daily. Volunteers who deliver the Meals on Wheels are considered essential under Governor Walz's stay-at-home order and are taking extra precautions to stay healthy and package food safely. We've had a number of new volunteers join us in this work over the past few weeks, and more people are signing up for meals as well. Even with social distancing practices, these volunteer-delivered meals and check-in phone calls are a highlight of the week for many in our community. In the words of Jack, one of our volunteers, he says the bottom line is we're serving people who need it, and that's always been the case. Wilder is also providing virtual programming for older adults in our community. Activities include chair yoga, live music, bingo, trivia, painting, and social hour. Volunteers from across the country are participating virtually in these video calls. Especially at this time, social isolation creates added strain on older adults and their families and friends and caregivers. Creating social connectedness is one of the ways that Wilder supports whole families and helps increase resiliency. With donated tablets and support from Wilder staff, older adults are able to join this virtual group and remain healthy and connected. Under the current Minnesota stay-at-home order, Wilder is considered an essential service provider. We remain busy providing access to childcare, meal delivery, leadership programming, mental health, and housing services at this critical time. We're grateful for everyone working to keep us healthy and connected to one another. With your support, these are the moments of ordinary magic that remind us we will get through this together. Wilder continues to serve community, and with your help, together, we are here for good.
Wow, isn't that amazing? You're probably thinking to yourself like me, I had no idea that Wilder's work was that far-reaching. You saw for yourself, boots on the ground, how Wilder is helping a cross-section of people in our community get through not only these times, but in the days beyond, from meal services to mental health services, giving people like Mary and DeAnthony agency, knowing that it's okay to be vulnerable, knowing that it's okay, it may be difficult right now, but we will get through this. It's hard, but it's possible to get to the other side. These are what the workers at Wilder are doing today, tomorrow, and every day to help build our community, to help create that ordinary magic through simple acts of service and support. And they can't do it without support from our sponsors, without support from people like you. And here's your opportunity tonight to create some ordinary magic with more on how important your gift is tonight, how important it is for you to give it tonight. Please say hello to Phyllis Goff.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Phyllis Goff, and I'm a volunteer and supporter of Wilder. Allow me to add my personal welcome and thank you for attending Wilder's Ordinary Magical Gala, brought to you this evening in a virtual, magical way. There's not a person in the East Metro area who has not been touched by Wilder's programs, whether directly or indirectly. From children and young adults who have benefited from programs that support healthy living and learning, to the community leadership programs that prepare and strengthen both business and nonprofit leaders, to the senior living programs that support older adults to live healthy and independent lives, And then there's the nationally recognized and deeply respected Wilder Research Arm, providing valuable research and evaluation services across the state and nationally, research that benefits all of us. One particular program that has touched my heart is Project Kofi, which provides mentoring, mental health, and social development skills to our kids of color. As you've already heard tonight, the COVID-19 crisis has not only turned our world upside down, it has hit even deeper into our communities where too many people are facing financial and housing insecurity, and on a scale we've never seen before. It's a time that requires all of us to find ways to help. And because we have all been touched with the ordinary magic of Wilder's work in our community, and because all of us continue to benefit from this ordinary magic, I'm proud to now ask you to join me in lending a hand and making a donation. Your contribution couldn't be more important right now. Because of generous sponsors, every gift made to Wilder will be matched dollar for dollar up to $120,000. You can help us reach our goal. Wilder is here for people every single day, even now during COVID-19. I'm asking you to be here for the children and families in need by supporting Wilder's programs. Please make a contribution and invest in the resilience and strength of people in our very own community, because together we will get through this. Thank you so much for your generous gift this evening. Be safe and be well.
Thank you, Phyllis, for that reminder that yes, we all will get through this, that we are in this together, and that tonight we all have an opportunity to be a part of something bigger. You saw in the video the amazing work that Wilder does, and you've learned from Phyllis there's going to be a one-for-one donation match for your donation, dollar for dollar, up to $120,000. That kind of money can do a lot of good in our community. Your donations will help things like supporting families facing housing and income insecurity, delivering critical mental health services, as you saw with DeAnthony's story, provide childcare for families working during the pandemic on the front line, those essential service workers, and keeping adults, older adults, and caregivers healthy. Speaking of moments of ordinary magic, I loved when the worker delivered the groceries and there was a bouquet of flowers in the bag. That little extra touch, that little extra bit of ordinary magic that all of us can be a part of tonight by giving generously and amplifying the impact of the work that our community leaders are doing. Join me right now to help out is Glenn Flattabo. Hey, Glenn.
Roxanne, it is great to be with you tonight. Over the years, our company has provided auctioneers to this event for many, many years. I am grateful to be here tonight personally, and number one, I want to thank all of you at home for joining us tonight and making a difference. Your funds are critical right now during the crisis. As Roxanne just said, it'll help with housing, it'll help with childcare, it will help with meals and mental health services. So number one, thank you for joining us. We are going to have a great night tonight. By the way, we've already raised $112,000 so far in our funded aid, so thank you to all of those donors. There is one other thing I wanted to share with everyone because I was moved personally by this. This week when we were working on this event, a donor came forward who asked tonight to be our lead gift, and he's going to give $25,000 to our funded need. He has asked to be anonymous, but here's the reason why he's doing it. When he heard that his funds are on the front lines of helping families right now during the crisis, he decided to increase his gift and give $25,000. Thank you to that family for that generous gift. You can bid tonight on wilder.org/magic. Every time you bid or make a gift, you're making a difference. In just a minute or two, we're also going to highlight some signature auction items. Roxanne, tell us what's next.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Glenn, for that update. $25,000 anonymous donation. That's just absolutely credible to see how our sponsors are stepping up. And again, it's $1 for dollar match. Your gift will be matched dollar for dollar up to $120,000. So you'll be able to double your support. You don't have to give $25,000 if you don't have $25,000. But what you can give, whatever amount you can give, is going to make a huge difference in the lives of the communities that Wilder serves. And we want to thank our presenting sponsor, the Catherine B. Anderson Fund of the St. Paul Foundation, and all of our sponsors tonight for their generosity, for leading the way in giving tonight. I want to shift gears just a bit, since there's another area of work that we haven't heard about, and that's Wilder research. We caught up with Michelle Decker-Gerard, and here's her update for all of you.
Hi, I'm Michelle Decker-Gerard. I'm a senior research manager at Wilder Research, and I'm also the director of the Minnesota Homeless Study. Today I'm here to talk to you a little bit about how COVID-19 is affecting our work. We are still working hard, harder than ever. All hands on deck to help spread the news about our work with the Homeless Study. Today, the day we're shooting this, we released a report on homelessness among older adults in Minnesota. The 25% increase in older adults experiencing homelessness since the last time we did our study. And it's timely because these are our folks most at risk for COVID-19. They are particularly vulnerable to the virus because of their multiple health conditions and because of the stress caused by homelessness. We are still working on other studies as well. Last week we released a study about homelessness among American Indians on reservations in partnership with 6 northern Ojibwe tribes. And a couple weeks before we released our large statewide report on homelessness in Minnesota. So basically we're still working, we're still doing the work in partnership with nonprofits throughout the state, advocates, and state government. In fact, we were called upon by the Office to End Homelessness and the Governor's Office to help them come up with an estimate of the number of people who might be experiencing homelessness during this crisis for a request for FEMA funds, so emergency funds from the federal government. And we don't just do the homeless study. In our research office, there's over 80 employees working on a wide variety of topics. Several other projects that I work on relate to substance abuse treatment, mental health, and poverty issues, all affecting the communities that we serve and particularly impacted by this crisis. During these difficult times as researchers, we really take the issues extremely seriously. We're working as hard as we possibly can to be as responsive to our stakeholders as possible. We really want to make a contribution that can have a big impact, and now more than ever, that's really, really important to us.
Michelle, we want to thank you for your leadership, and we want to thank all of the Wilder researchers and their staff for helping families right now during the crisis. Here's good news, everyone. We're over $114,000 in our funded need. Again, every gift is matched dollar for dollar up to $120,000. I'm now going to highlight 2 of our signature auction items. You can bid on the items till 8 p.m. tonight, so you have about a half an hour to bid on these items. Here are 2 amazing items. The first item I'm going to profile is a wine trip to Oregon. You're going to Willamette Valley in Oregon. It's an amazing place. This is for 4 days for 2 people. You're going to have the chance to go to 4 different wineries. So winery tours at 4 different places. I do want to give a special shout out to one of the wineries tonight. It's actually owned by a Minnesota family. This is a big deal. It is Domaine Serene. You're going to have the chance to go to Domaine Serene. It's a very, very hard item to get in my line of work because the tickets are sold out so often to go to Domaine Serene. It's a Minnesota family. Thank you to that family for that donation. You're also going to have the chance to go to 3 other wineries, and then you're going to end your stay by doing a 3-hour horseback ride, and you're going to do a wine tasting after the horseback ride. By the way, it's a good idea to do the wine tasting after the horseback ride. That is the value of that item. We typically sell this wine trip for between $3,000 to $4,000. I think the current bid is $2,750, so there's a lot of opportunity on item number 2 tonight. Here's the third item. Right now, by the way, if anyone buys this at the current price, it is the steal of the year. It is a trip to Keystone, Colorado. This is for 6 people. You can negotiate when you do it. It's an amazing opportunity, everybody. Again, 6 people. The condo has 3 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. It sleeps 6 to 8 people. It's walking distance to many, just a short walk to many different opportunities that you can do in Keystone. You're also, by the way, you're getting a Chevy Suburban for the entire week. So when you fly into the Denver airport, you can jump into the Suburban. You do not have to rent a car. The good news with this item, by the way, Roxanne, is you can use it this summer in 2020 or 2021. And Roxanne, I should tell you, by the way, if you're having a glass of wine at home, bidding online is a lot more fun. So you can have a glass of wine right now. Roxanne, don't you agree with that?
I do, and I also agree with your advice to do the wine tasting after the horse ride.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that comes from experience, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Glenn. We'll check back in with you just a bit later. Lots of awesome auction items for you to bid on tonight. So thank you for that, and get to that. I'm sure those items are going to be very popular and hotly contested. Remember earlier tonight in the virtual event that we showed you Mary's story, how she found housing and she's now a 911 operator. The quote that she said about how it's hard, but it's possible, just really sticks with me. It's a really great story of how Wilder is helping those help themselves. Well, let's check back in with Mary. I'd like you to listen in on a Zoom call with Mary and Wilder's program manager for Family Independence Initiative, Norka Avion Peterson. Let's listen in.
Hi, Mary.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
I hear you. Thank you so much for getting on this call. I just wanted to check in and see how you and your family are doing.
Me and my fiance are still working, so that's good. We are still employed and still able to pay the bills and manage. So for the most part, we're just surviving and seeing the updates every day to see how the world is changing, but getting through it. Nonetheless, I think it's more emotional struggle than anything.
Yeah. Well, you guys make sure to take care of yourselves and stay safe and healthy. Another thing I just wanted to check in is, as you know, Wilder, we went and made sure that we're able to really have emergency funds to all FI families, knowing that everyone right now is in a state of crisis and just trying to survive and just make it through the day. So what we did is that, as you know, through the partnership, a 2-year partnership, you have a balance of $2,400 that families can access. So dependent on families' balance and how much they had in access to resources or to the quarterly stipends, we made the balance available. And we're able to do that within 2 weeks, making sure, but first we made sure that we didn't pay out any families until they approved the funds, because there were some families that still wanted to receive their funds quarterly as opposed to one lump sum.
Right.
And I know you were still on mama duty. I know you were.
I'm telling you, this is going to be difficult, but we're going to get through this.
I know you were one of the families that approved your funds. So I'm just wondering, how that had helped, or if it helped you and your household, and as you've been connecting with women in your cohort, just what you're hearing during this time.
Yeah, so since we're still working, the only thing is kids being home, obviously, and needing to eat more.
Yeah.
So we got caught up on a few bills with that money, and we were able to go grocery shopping. And so having to buy more food, we struggle with some of the bills, but we were able to get caught up on a lot of the bills and get that paid off. So
I personally want to thank you, because I know you've been a huge advocate for FII, and you shared our platform with people within your network. But yeah, thank you so much, Mary, for connecting with me. I'm going to let you go and be a mama.
Thank you.
And we'll talk later.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Norka.
Bye.
Bye.
How many of you can relate to having your Zoom call interrupted, right? so impressed to see how Wilder was able to make that cash investment to a family in need so quickly. That's the kind of ordinary magic we're talking about tonight, the kind of ordinary magic that you at home can be a part of. Let's check in with Glenn to see how we're doing. How's it going, Glenn?
Roxanne, we are doing great. The funded need is now over $116,000.
Awesome.
Again, keep those funds coming in. Every gift will be matched dollar for dollar up to $120,000, and then we'd like to blow past that goal. So thank you very much for all those donations. Roxanne, listen to this, some amazing gifts tonight. Bill Harrison, thank you. Bill Harrison gave us $10,000. Thank you to Bill and his family. We also had a gift tonight of $6,000 from Julie Bruner and Dale Ulrich. They're giving $6,000. Thank you to Dale and Julie. Our third gift that I'd like to highlight is from Robin Hansen. Robin has a deep history of support with Wilder. She served on our board. She's giving $5,000. Thank you, Robin, for that generosity. An amazing show of support tonight for Wilder. Here's our last two items that we're going to profile in our featured auction segment. Again, you can bid until 8 o'clock tonight. 8 o'clock is when you can bid on these last two items and the previous two that I mentioned. The third item that I'm profiling is, again, from Robin Hansen. She owns this place. It's a trip to Scottsdale, Arizona. Again, you can negotiate when you use it if you want to use it sometime this year or next year. There's actually no expiration date on this item. It is 7 consecutive nights in a beautiful townhome right in downtown Scottsdale, just a walking distance from over 100 restaurants that you can go and visit. The home sleeps 6 people. It has 2 bedrooms and another den with sleeping quarters. An amazing opportunity. Again, there's no expiration date. There's also a $100 gift card included for dinner that night. Typically, these Scottsdale trips, by the way, they'll sell for between $4,000 to $5,000. I think the current bid is $2,750, so there's a lot of opportunity on that one. And here's our final item. This is a classic Minnesota item. I love this item. These in-home dinners are super, super popular in our business. So Lynn Rosetta Casper, all of us have heard her on Minnesota Public Radio, of course. She has her show, The Splendid Table. Very generous and supportive member of our community. Lynn Rosetta Casper is hosting a dinner at Robin Hansen's house. Again, this is for 10 people. You can negotiate when you do this. You can find a time to agree upon. I think the current bid is $2,500. This item, I think, Roxanne, is really a priceless opportunity with Lynn Rosetta Casper. I also want to give a shout out to Solo Vino. Chuck Kansky, super generous in our community. Solo Vino is providing the wine for this. So an amazing opportunity. I know Shannon Hoagland's at home. I think she loves to bid on this. Shannon, you can outbid yourself if you want to, if you really want to get this item. Lastly, I'm just going to throw this in. Roxanne Battle is going to come and do the dishes and be the server, and I will also do the dishes. So I just added that as a last enticement. The final thing I'd like to say to everybody at home, thank you again for rallying behind us. Thank you for getting behind Wilder right now. The funded needs at $117,000, almost $118,000. And to you, Roxanne Battle, I want to thank you for your support tonight. We're having a great night.
It's a pleasure to do some ordinary magic with you, Glenn. And you got the order right. I will serve, you do the dishes, right?
I'll take you up on that.
All right, great work, Glenn. Thank you for your support and everything that you're doing. Thank you. Well, look at that. $116,000 is where we're at Funded Need. We will match it dollar for dollar up to $120,000. So there's still lots of time to give. Those auction items will be available to bid on for another 20 minutes until 8 o'clock. No gift is too small. Matched dollar for dollar, and you can give tonight, you can give tomorrow, but we'd love to have those donations come in tonight so that we can make that $120,000 match. Through our time together virtually, you've seen the work that Wilder does, boots on the ground, working with our older population, our young population, helping those who need mental health services, helping our children, providing meals, assisting in housing. Their work, as you heard, is needed now more than ever. And we will get through this unprecedented, extraordinary time because, as you've heard this evening, Wilder is here for good. Wilder is a testament to the resiliency and the capability of this community and the people that we serve. I want to thank you for tuning in to this virtual Ordinary Magic event. It's been a pleasure for me as a St. Paul native to serve as your host, to find some way to assist in assisting those in our community who need help the way that Wilder has been assisting before the pandemic and long after. For myself, for Glenn, and everyone at Wilder, I want to thank you for your generosity. I want to thank you for your passion. I want to thank you for supporting the resiliency of the people in our community now and for generations to come. I'm Roxanne Battle. Stay safe, be well. Thank you, and good night.